What's going on? Happy hump day to everybody. This is Angela Courtney from Sideline Sisters, and my partner's joining me. She is.
Michelle Bloom.
Yes,
March
y'all.
Madness.
Did y'all get enough basketball over these days, man? I tell you, I'm thinking I'm dribbling in my sleep. What about you, Shell?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's been exciting. It has been, and now we about to get down to the nitty-gritty.
The nitty gritty. All right. So as you see displayed, I have been using the brackets for ESPN. There are only 25 brackets left that are perfect. And
Wow.
yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? The
I
men's
would
game, there's none left.
I would love to know the people that do have perfect brackets, what their profession is.
I bet you somebody used AI.
Even AI is still has messed me up on some predictions. So I don't know.
Okay, well,
Especially on that boxing match between Mike Tyson and what was his name? The crazy one?
you know that was all staged. All staged.
I went to AI to see about that one, so I don't know. Anyway,
All right, before we get started talking about these brackets to see whether your brackets is busted or you thriving, let's talk about a little news. This come about in the next couple of days. So we're gonna
mm,
we're gonna start here with your girl Aaliyah Chavez. Everybody has been anticipating and waiting on where she has chosen to go to school. Well, with Sports Center, live with the support of her family, she has chosen for the season of 2025 and 2026 to go to Oklahoma.
mm,
Oklahoma, y'all.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Wow.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, very much. Very much.
Next in our news here, AZ Fudd has decided to return for another year with the amazing UConn Huskies.
Good
You know,
job.
you know what? I think she just wanna have that limelight to herself. I mean, even with Sarah Strong, she gonna, but I think she wants a second chance at winning the title and can say that, hey, I did it. Paige wasn't here.
But can't Paige doesn't Paige have that option too to return?
I don't think so. I think this is Paige's last one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
last year was her additional year. Well, actually, I'm sorry, 2024, 2025. This is her additional year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Paige is done. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Let's get into these brackets.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen.
All right, let's get it.
Let's get it. And yep. You see it, Shell?
I see it.
All
It's
right.
coming up.
All right, let's see. Dang it, I forgot to open it. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my brackets. Sorry. Sorry for the inconvenience. Any-
Hey,
Anyway, I know what it is, so we can just go on into it.
that's right. Just go with the flow.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, so starting, we're gonna start. I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you start. Region one.
Oh
Okay.
man, region one.
Yeah.
Ooh, region one. All right. So y'all, we kind of know that this first round should be like easy breezy, right? For the most part, which most of our teams had at least a 30 plus win
Right.
over their opponents, such as UCLA defeated Southern University, Ole Miss defeated Ball State, Baylor 73-60. Very much so lopsided scores. Florida State over George Mason 94-59. LSU over San Diego State 103-48. Michigan State over Harvard 64-50. NC State over Vermont 75-55. So Again, lopsided.
All right. So let's talk about, go ahead and tell us about round two, which sets us
Uh,
up for the Sweet 16.
Dang. Yes, 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 yes. So with UCLA defeating Southern University, that would have them going against the Richmond Spiders. Um, Richmond is back in Richmond. They are not preparing for a Sweet 16. UCLA defeated them 84 to 67. All right. Ole Miss defeated Baylor, which I got Ole Miss kind of going. Yeah, I had them in my Sweet 16. So they defeated Baylor 69 to 63. That was a very good game right there.
Yes.
Um, Florida State uh, and LSU. I thought this was going to be a little more competitive matchup
Hmm.
than what it was, but Florida State gave the good fight, and Anissa Morrow and Flage were just too much. With LSU coming away with the victory, 101 to 71. And then Michigan State and NC State. NC State, that was pretty much an easy win for them. Breezing through 83 to 49.
I told you, Michelle. I told you. All right. So heading into region two, the Birmingham. We start off in round one, South Carolina facing off on Tennessee Tech. That was easy work for South Carolina. Joyce Edwards ended up with 22 points. Malaysia for Wiley 15 to lead all scores. They were sharing the sugar. I think everybody on the entire team scored at least 1 point. So yeah, that was easy work for them. All right,
Yeah.
so going into Utah, Indiana, this again was a very exciting game to watch because these are almost like mirror images of each other the way they play. But
Mhm.
Indiana, kick it into high gear and they end up defeating Utah 76-68.
Mm.
So then we go into Green. Like all these first round teams were pretty much, no competition for the Division One schools and especially the ones that played the tough schedules. So going into Alabama over Green Bay, 81-67, cruising. Maryland over Norfolk State, although Norfolk State was leading at halftime by 2 points. Brenda
That,
T. Brenda T.
hey,
Excuse
you
me.
know, Maryland, Norfolk State has that transfer from Maryland who made all MEAC,
Okay.
the point guard. You know, she got MEAC Player of the Year. She's led Norfolk State to three NCAA. Well, this was her first year, but she led Norfolk State. She received all kind of awards last year and this year for them, to put them in NCAA to make
Competition.
it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. But do you know this news? Norfolk State's coach has recently been hired for Auburn, so he'll be a D1 coach at Auburn University next year.
I would make that move if I was getting 400 plus more thousand too.
Heck yeah.
SEC.
Yep. So then we move on to West Virginia, who quickly takes care of Columbia 78-59. North Carolina take on Oregon State. You know the only one that's messed up in this bracket for me is the Vandy Oregon game.
Yeah.
They messed it up. That was the
Yeah.
only one that I got wrong.
And that was in an overtime game too.
Yes, it was. I haven't seen the game, but I mean, I watched the highlights. I mean, I was pulling for Vandy, but that's all
And,
right.
and of course, Vandy could have pulled it out.
Yeah, yeah. And then Duke taking on Lehigh 86-25. Quick work with them, man. That game wasn't even, I guess, competition for them. So then we move on to round two. South Carolina versus Indiana. I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
Lord God, we cannot struggle against a team like this, but they did. And they got out of it. This was the seniors and juniors game because there wasn't very many like freshmen or sophomores on the floor. Tessa probably played the most, Malaysia for Wally come out there with her crazy want to do this and do that. And Don's like, we don't need that right now. I need you to come over here and spectate a little bit. So she spent,
Don,
yeah, she played her 10 minutes and then she spent the rest of the time on the bench with Don.
hey, Don said, we trying to go to the Final Four, young blood. So come sit down right beside me on this bench.
Girl, I'm like, you got to learn. I mean, it was that one play she came down and she was getting ready to go up and make a layup, and the Indiana player was there. So she ended up jumping because, that's what she does. She ended up jumping, turning around, throwing the ball away. Don was like, that's it. You done. You're done. All right. So moving on to the next one, Alabama and Maryland. Man, you know what, Michelle? I turned the television off. I thought this one was done. And then later on, I found out that Maryland survived, all bruised and battered, but they came out on top of Alabama by 3 points, 111 to 108. Did you? I think I told you already, but Brad Sellers, who used to play with Michael Jordan, is actually her father, who was there present at the game supporting his daughter.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, now round two, you got West Virginia up against North Carolina. And I bet you a lot of people had West Virginia winning on their grid, but Upsy is back. So they actually defeated West Virginia 47-58 on their home floor. Ain't no way we're gonna disrespect the Heels on our own floor.
That's right.
So then Oregon plays Duke. The Duke got out of that fight 59-53. It must have been a very good game. I didn't get a chance to see them, y'all. I'll tell you, some of these games have been late, like 10 o'clock. I can imagine playing at 10 o'clock. But
Right.
anyway, that sets us up for March the 28th at 2:30, a Duke versus Carolina rematch.
I hate that. I hate it. Just putting us up against each other. Like NC State always gets another region.
Yeah, well, I don't think
They
NC
set it
State
up like that.
I don't think NC State gonna like what they got coming. So
Oh man.
anyway, that puts us in Region 3. Okay, so I see I got 1, 2. So I guess I have to go on with 3 and then you can finish up with 4.
Yep.
All right. So in Region 3, we got Texas win Mary. No problems. They beat them by 40 points. I think everybody got to share the sugar on that night.
Mm.
Then we got Illinois and Creighton. I had Creighton. Illinois upset Creighton. So, well, I wouldn't say it's an upset, but I just thought Creighton would have been the better team.
Right, right, right.
But the score was 66-57. I'm sorry, y'all. We are in round 1. We're gonna move to round 2 in a minute. Then you got Tennessee and South Florida. No problem. Tennessee, being Tennessee, doing what they do, took care of business. And then you have Ohio State against Montana State. That's a 20-point win for uh, Ohio State. And then you got Michigan taking on Iowa State.
Mhm.
Audie Crooks, man. Audie Crooks. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It
Is she
was
gonna hit the portal? You think she'll hit the portal?
nah. If I were her, I'd stay. They,
Okay.
they can build a team around her.
Okay.
I mean, what team would she go to that she could actually come on the floor and start in front of somebody else?
I had to I had to dive into that a little bit more, but
I'm just saying. All right, so then you
yeah.
got Notre Dame taking on Austin. Final score was 106-54. Like I said, these first round teams got blown out. We need to look at some kind of program to help better prepare these teams that are coming in, because the women's bracket was pretty much cut and dry. You already knew who was going to win the game.
Well,
Uh,
they haven't reached that parity yet,
yeah,
like the men.
no, they haven't. Louisville versus
Louisville or Louisville?
Louisville. I'm sorry. I was pronouncing every syllable.
Yeah, you were.
Louisville was taking on Nebraska. Nebraska fell to them by 5 points. That must have been a very interesting game. I didn't get a chance
Mhm.
to see it. TCU, Fair Dixon. Easy work, 73-51. We move on to round two. So now you got Texas taking on Illinois. Texas prevails. I don't think they had anything that would keep Booker from doing what she needed to do. And she
Mm-mm.
also had help from one of her teammates, the big girl, not what's her name? Olacker, not her, but the other one that comes off.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get her name later. Tennessee versus Texas. So Tennessee survives Ohio State. That was a very good game. I think Ohio State got to okay, ain't no more gas left in this here tank. So
No more.
yeah, but got to give hats off to those girls. They fought to the bitter end. So now this Tennessee defeats Ohio State 82-67. And then we move on to Michigan and Notre Dame. That was a good game.
It was.
They actually got to play, Notre Dame actually got to play on their home floor. And it was the final score was 76-55. And then we move into Louisville versus TCU. Too much Sedona Prince. Too much Sedona Prince. And what was the one other girl name? She's another 6'2" girl, came off the bench. She had like 20 points, I think. I think Haley Van Lith didn't score a lot, but she played a lot of minutes in this game, but she was not the key player
It,
or the
it
key
might have been nerves. I
scorer.
mean, this is the original team that she started with
Right.
before, she hit the portal the first time and went to LSU. And then,
Yeah, she was a Louisville Cardinal.
yep.
Yep. So that sets us up for Notre Dame versus TCU. That will be another good game. Will Notre Dame get their revenge against TCU and get the win, or will they go down swinging? And then we got Texas matched up against Tennessee, and number one against the number five. I'm putting my money on Tennessee, but I think Texas might come out on top. Anyway, we are now in Region 4, Spokane. Go ahead.
Quattro. All right. Can we have a moment of silence for UNCG?
Yes.
Okay, that's enough.
Wow.
Because that's how much time it took for USC Juju and company to handle business. So UNCG, you had a great run. You won your conference tournament, regular season champs. So their season came crashing at USC. That was a nice little road trip. The
Yeah,
California,
that's all it
they,
was. Oh,
they
sorry.
said welcome to Southern California, not the Hotel California, but welcome to Southern California.
Welcome to South Southern California.
71-25. Mississippi State. This was an upset for me because I had California winning this game,
Shoot, me too. I'm like, what happened, y'all?
59-46. Um, then Kansas State handled business over Fairfield, 85-41. I'm gonna have to take a look at K-State and see what kind of work they putting in.
Well, the big girl was back. Coca Lee.
Okay, because Aoki Lee, yeah,
Okay, Lee. Sorry, y'all.
Aoki Lee, yeah, yeah. Which then put us Kentucky playing another North Carolina school, Liberty. Not,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, not North Carolina school, but they handled business. I mean, it was a good game, but Kentucky prevailed 79-78.
You gonna set up
I
the last chance for Kentucky. I know you wanna tell it.
I do, but here we go. Iowa defeated Murray State 92-57. Then you had Oklahoma defeating Florida Gulf Coast. You know Beers wasn't gonna go down like
Oh no.
that. Oklahoma State got defeated by South Dakota State. What's their mascot, Courtney? I know you like to say it.
The running rabbits. The jackrabbits.
Um,
Jackrabbits.
South Dakota State Jackrabbits. They
The
get to
jackrabbits.
all right. And now we have, of course, UConn defeated Arkansas,
Mhm.
103-34. Everybody was rotated in on that game as well, which
Alright.
sets us up for USC playing Mississippi State, which, oh man, South Carolina, this was It was a good game. It was an emotional game for everyone who watched it as they saw their star go down
She
in
went
this game.
down. Hold on, hold
She
on. You know I got a visual for that.
Yeah, put it up, put it up.
I'm gonna put it up. And look, that's when a lot of brackets fail too.
Yeah, well, Imma be honest, I had them going to the Final Four. It could potentially still happen. I will say in that game, it gave a lot of shine to Kiki Iriafen, which she scored 34 piece on them. She
Mm.
actually played very aggressive, went to the rack. So I was very impressed with how Kiki, her performance in that game. They won that game 96-59, which set us up for our next game, Kansas State and Kentucky. Again, I had Kentucky on my bracket.
Mhm.
Game went into overtime. Great game. Georgia Amore was set up for she took the ball out of bounds, was set up to drive go baseline. She had the perfect shot, uncontested, came up short, Kansas State 80-79, which puts us USC and Kansas State will face off on March the 29th. All
Mm.
right. So you had Iowa and Oklahoma playing. I kind of saw this when Oklahoma defeated Iowa 96-62.
Dang, I
And
mean,
then
they made quick work of them.
they really did. It was like, and then South Dakota State against UConn, which UConn prevailed, which it was the Paige Becker show. And that was her last game being played at UConn. So,
Yes.
she put forth the Paige Becker show, which we've been looking for all year long.
Yeah.
So Paige came out in that game. I want to say she scored 34 points in that one, which will put UConn and Oklahoma facing off on March the 29th as well. But I will add, there has been some talk in the news in regard to, and I'm going to just go back to that USC and Mississippi State game.
Mhm.
There was a little pushing and shoving, during that nice little friendly handshake line,
Oh.
which there's been some speculation as to, and it could just be coincidence. This is the same team that South Carolina played when Ashley Watkins tore her ACL,
Oh,
also against the same player
mm.
that was in that area. I
Well,
don't know. It could be
dun, dun,
coincidence.
dun.
You know, Mississippi done brought that Bayou gumbo action. I don't know. They might have put a roots
You done
on
said
it, but
a roots.
but it's that's just been the talks again. Ashley Watkins tore her ACL against Mississippi State, and now Juju goes down for a ACL tear, which has put her out for the season, the remainder of the tournament. So
Mm.
I just wanted to throw that out there, which sets us up for a good Sweet 16, y'all. Now these are the games you want to watch. If you haven't been watching, turn the tube on March 29th.
Yep. You do not want to miss because then it will set us up for our Elite Eight. And honestly, I hope that USC, they may get by if they can figure out what to do with Lee in the middle.
Mhm,
But they do have some height. So I think that USC without Juju, Judea, will get past Kansas State, but it might be barely get by. Because I would say that freshman that plays in the starting lineup, she has
mhm,
improved game after game. She's no Juju, but she will push the ball, in transition. So I'm
mhm.
hoping that they will survive Kansas State.
Right, right. And I've already told everybody here at work on Friday at 2:30, do not disturb me. I will be in my office with the door closed when Duke and Carolina play at 2:30. I will have do not disturb on the outside of my window.
Wow. Well,
So
I have to go to two funeral two No, no, funerals, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. But I will have my earbuds in.
Oh my goodness.
God
R.I.P.
forgive me.
Oh my goodness. Sorry to
I
hear
will
that.
be periodically.
Sorry to hear
Yeah, I thank you. Thank you. But we ain't here forever. We here for a short time. Just, make the best of it.
Yes, but again, folks, we got some great games coming out on Friday. We got North Carolina versus Duke at 2:30, Maryland versus South Carolina at 5, LSU and NC State. Now that's the game I feel like that's the one I'm unsure. I'm 50-50 on that one.
Mm.
I'm 50-50. And
I'm
then
I'm LSU all the way because they have the height advantage.
got you.
I'm
And
LSU.
then
I'm believing in Morrow and Flage. Flage didn't
okay.
get a whole lot of points, but she was, keeping things going while she was on the floor. Morrow did her thing, and the other, what's the other guard name? Williams, Michaela Williams did her job.
Taylor Wings.
Yes,
All right. And then we close out Friday evening with Ole Miss and UCLA. Got UCLA on that one.
yeah, I do too.
UCLA. All right. And then we take it to Saturday. We starting at 1 o'clock. Y'all
One
got to get
o'clock.
up. You can't sleep in. Notre
Who
Dame and
sleeps till
TCU.
1 o'clock on a Saturday unless you got a third shift job?
Hey, Notre Dame and TCU. I'm gonna be honest. I took TCU. They're my Cinderella.
Mhm. I think I put Notre Dame in,
Okay.
but we'll see what happens.
I mean, I
Notre
just look.
Notre Dame got to get a lick back.
They do. They do. They
Yeah,
do.
and you got to remember they are not the same team that they played in that conference at the beginning of the school year. That's not the same team.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just hope that stuff that happened in the ACC tournament don't come back.
Got you. Got you. All right. 3:30. We got Tennessee and Texas. I got Tennessee, Texas prevailing actually in that game. I know you said Tennessee, but I feel like Texas right now.
Well, on my bracket, I have Texas too.
Okay, got you. That 5:30 game, that's gonna be a good game. Oklahoma and UConn.
Mm-hmm.
UConn has a lot of threats. I'll just say that versus Oklahoma.
I honestly think that UConn is the better team. They have more depth. He has at least 10. Well, I say at least 8 that he keeps in rotation. So I think what you're gonna have to do is wear on Megan Beers. You got Alfie, put Alfie on her, and then he's got another girl. I think her name is Shade. I mean, just switch
Mm,
them two back in between. There, if you got 3 players that you can put on her in a rotation, that's 15 fouls.
yeah.
Yep.
And then we gonna end the night with K State and USC. Again, this game is gonna be a toss up for me. I know I put USC on my bracket.
I think they'll make it through.
Um, because in my Final Four, I have them going against UConn in the Elite Eight. I'm sorry, in the Elite Eight,
Right.
I have them going against UConn, and that's where I feel like this season will come to an end.
I don't know. I think they'll tough it out. I want them to tough it out, but cause I'm sure everybody had USC until Juju went down. So
Hmm. Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna start shooting now.
All right. All right.
Well, folks, I think that is about it.
That's a
We-
wrap. That's all
Yeah,
I got too, Courtney.
we in that sweet 16. Oh, y'all, just to remind you guys, please, 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 please subscribe, like, and share. The comments are open now. So if you got something that you want us to talk about, you got a question about who we picked in our brackets or about any team, or if you just want to say, hey, we just want to let you girls know y'all doing an awesome job, holla at us. Let us know.
Let us know.
Yep. All right, Michelle.
All
It's a wrap.
right. 'Cause next time we come at y'all, guess what? Y'all see that? Can you see?
Clear.
Tampa. Here we come.
Yep. Tampa Bay, baby. We
All right.
coming.
We might have to go live on that one.
Yeah.
Might
Yeah.
have to go live on that one.
All righty then. It's a wrap.